This week's Parsha, our Parshas, is Vayakel and Pekudei. Vayakel and Pekudei both discuss how they constructed the Mishkan, the actual building, and also the different vessels that they had that the building housed. Vayakel begins, interestingly enough, with the mitzvah of Shabbos, and then goes on to discuss the construction of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle. Now, why is this Shabbos put there? So the Gemara tells us that the way we learn what specific activities are prohibited on Shabbos are by the discussion of the different actions that they did to create the Mishkan, to create the tabernacle. Cutting down trees, smoothing the beams, and so on. Everything that they did throughout the Mishkan service, the tabernacle service, and how they constructed it, whatever creative means they use, those are specifically the labors that are prohibited on Shabbos. Now, when the Torah says on Shabbos it's prohibited to do work, in this week's Parsha, it does discuss one specific labor that's prohibited, and that is, Lo yisavaru eish b'chol ma'shvayseichem. You shall not ignite fire throughout all of your encampments, all the places where you settle. The question, of course, the Gemara deals with is why would it specifically talk about one of the 39 labors that are prohibited, which is that of igniting fire. The Gemara has two different ways of understanding it, but forgetting about the halachic understanding, why would it specifically pick eish, fire, that specific labor that's prohibited on Shabbos? Now, if you think about it historically, really, if you go back, way back in history, the first technological advance in human history was fire. We all learned it in elementary school, that when man learned how to create fire, everything changed. Then he could change the form of metal and do other things that he previously could not do, cook food and so on. So fire was the first creative process, the first act, so to say, that man could attribute to his own creation that ever existed. It was the first time man created something significant. And it's those acts of creation which are prohibited on Shabbos, which means is that man acting as the creator or thinking that he quote-unquote is the creator, all of those types of actions, those creative labors, those are the ones that are prohibited on Shabbos. And the head of that, of course, is fire. With this, we can also understand why specifically at the conclusion of Shabbos, during Havdalah, we specifically ignite a fire, an avuka, a torch actually, multiple flames. The reason why is because the strongest symbol that the weekday has begun, and it is no longer Shabbos, is that creative process which heralded man's creative labors. And therefore we light a fire during Havdalah. And that is specifically why we have out of all of the 39 labors, the one that's written in the Torah is the prohibition of lighting a fire. Just a quick question on this week's Parsha. When it discusses the halachos of Shabbos, the laws of Shabbos, it says, Sheish Hashem te'asam melacha uvayom ashri Shabbos kodesh, Shabbos Shabbosayim. 6 days you shall work, and on the seventh day is holy. It's a Shabbos. Now, if you look specifically at the conjugation of that beginning of that verse, 6 days of week you shall work, it says te'aseh. The word you shall work is a strange conjugation. It says te'aseh, and usually when it says you shall work, it uses ta'aseh. Why does it say te'aseh? Now, how does te'aseh what does it usually mean? What it usually means is that work shall be done. So according to this, the verse actually states 6 days of the week work shall be done, and on the seventh day it shall be holy, Shabbos. It will be Shabbos. Why would the pasuk specifically state that work shall be done as opposed to saying that you shall do work? Have a great Shabbos.